everyone, Jennifer here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about receiving guests into your home and how to do it properly and what to think about when you do it, because it's such an important part of life is connecting with people. You know, we're so used to connecting with people now on Facebook, digitally, over the screen or through text message, that it is such a novelty to actually invite someone into your home and look at them face to face. I feel like in the old days, but when I say old days, when I was growing up, that this was just way more common than it is now, and it seems to be dying out. We seem to be less and less connected. And in my book, At Home with Madame Chic, I talk a lot about, obviously, life at home. That's the whole book. And entertaining and inviting people into your home is such a big part of that. Also, I think the busier we get and the less organized our home is, the more clutter we have everywhere, the less inclined we are to have people over to our house because we just don't want to deal with it. We don't want to have to clean up the mess or hide things in another room, and it's just too much. So we always end up meeting somewhere else. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about this a lot today. Last night I actually had a dream, or was it a nightmare, that someone invited me over to their home, and I came and I was really thirsty and hungry. And I was over at their house and I wasn't offered anything. These are the type of nightmares that I have. And I just remember in the dream feeling, do I say something? Do I ask for a glass of water? And I mean, what a strange dream to have. But I woke up this morning and I thought, what am I going to talk about on the blog this week? And that was it. Because that was a dream, but how many of you have had an experience where you were invited over to someone's home and you just felt that you weren't received properly? And I'm not talking about some grand reception or anything. I'm just talking about, the bare minimum of what you're supposed to do when you go over to someone's home. Sure, we all have horror stories and also wonderful stories about when you have visited someone and you just felt so welcome and it was just a great experience. So let's talk about it today. Okay, first things first. You know I love to write about always use the best things you have. And this is just a topic that I cannot drill home enough, and it's important to keep talking about it because we still require encouragement. I still require encouragement to use my best on a daily basis. So if you are in the habit of using your nice dishes, your nice napkins, your nice teacups, of dressing your best every single day, when you have people over and you use these things, it won't feel awkward. It won't feel foreign to you. And that can always be a factor when you have someone over and you present them with your best teacups, for example. There's a sense of awkwardness there if you're not used to using them. So it is good to get into the habit of using your best things on a daily basis, not only for you, but when you have guests over, it's so nice to use those things as well. And I really hope that you're not saving your best things for later and not even using them on your guests. A lot of people have that. They have the museum room that nobody sits in that stays perfect. Or they have the beautiful china set that nobody touches because we're afraid to break it. Well, life is happening right now, and it's important to use those things right now. What is the worst that can happen? You break something. That's very unlikely that it happens, but it could happen. But at least you used it, right? The second point I'd like to talk to you about is to release your insecurities. Yes, when someone comes over to your home, you could feel insecure, wondering about whether or not your home is tidy enough, or if there's any clutter anywhere, or are you dressed nicely, or are they going to like what you made them? So it's almost like just jumping in the swimming pool. Once someone is at the door knocking, time to let go of all those insecurities. Your friends and your guests just want to see you, and they're probably thrilled to receive an invitation over. So don't worry about what they think. They're not sitting there judging you and worrying about, the things that you're thinking of. And this is so true. So I really encourage people to let go of the insecurities and don't constantly apologize. This is something I struggle with. So when you invite someone over, oh, I'm so sorry, I look like a mess, or I'm so sorry, my house is a disaster, don't look at it. You don't need to apologize. Whatever state it is in, and it's nice to get it into a nice state to receive guests, but whatever state your home is in, don't apologize for it. Just welcome someone, because when people apologize profusely, it makes the other party feel a bit uncomfortable. They might be thinking, am I intruding on this person? Should I even be here? So don't apologize for it. Just own it. You are the hostess and you are accepting someone into your home. The third point, right off the bat, as they come into the home and after you greet them, give your guests a place to put their belongings. So they'll have a handbag, maybe they'll have a coat or an umbrella. It's great to just let them know right away where those things can go. And if they bring their handbag in with them or if they need to, that's fine too. Just provide a space for it, especially if you're inviting a lot of people over, and that way bags just won't be strewn everywhere, creating a sort of messy, chaotic environment. It's good to allocate one area for the bags. Point 4, and this has to do with the nightmare that I had last night. As soon as your guests enter your home, offer them a refreshment. Ask them if they'd like something to drink, or if you've already prepared something, have it ready for them. And, give them something. You never know what their story is. It could be that they haven't had lunch all day, or maybe they had a long car drive to come visit you, or they're thirsty, or they ran out of water in their water bottle in the car. They could be really thirsty. It's really nice right off the bat to just ask them if they like something. Can I get you anything to drink? I have water, juice, coffee, tea. Let them tell you what they would like, and then you have something to give them, and hopefully they will be able to just settle down and be comfortable. My last quick point is if you invite someone over to your home during a regular meal time, you must provide food for them. Sometimes, in the past I've been over at someone's house during the duration of lunchtime and nothing was offered, and I leave starving, and I just think sometimes people don't think, or maybe they've already eaten or whatnot. But if you don't want to provide a meal, then do not invite people over during that time period. So if it's noon, you've got to provide some refreshments in the form of food. Really simple principles. And I think people overcomplicate having guests over. And because of this, they don't do it very often. The more you practice, the easier and easier it is. So you'll be an old pro at some point and you'll just say, hello, welcome. Yes, you could place your handbag here. What can I get you to drink? And, so on and so on. And the flow is nice. And you're just able to just drop all of the, You're just able to drop all of the business in your head. In your head, you're thinking, oh, should I be doing something now? What should I be doing next? You get into the habit of it. You offer them a drink, and then you can relax and actually enjoy meeting with your friend and talking with your friend, which is so nice and such a luxury in this fast-paced world. So those are my thoughts on inviting guests into your home. It's very basic. What do you have to say about this subject? I would love to hear from you. Do you have any horror stories where you were invited over at, let's say dinner time and you weren't fed, or anything like that? I'd love to hear from you. Also, do you have any positive experiences where you remember when somebody just so graciously invited you over and you had such a lovely, memorable time? As you know from my books, that when I lived in Paris, both Madame Chic and Madame Bohemienne threw regular dinner parties. And not only dinner parties, but they often invited people over for tea time and that sort of thing. And it was just a regular muscle that they flexed. They just loved to entertain. And they did it so graciously and in their own unique way. So that is something that has always left an impression on me, and something that I always, have aspired to. Thank you for joining me on The Daily Connoisseur. I'll see you soon. Bye.